All right. Well, welcome back to another UX Moments with your host, Thiggy Smalls. I got some cool stuff to show you today. Simple, but I just found out. Not just. I mean, I think I've realized this, but it will help tremendously when you go to build out uh, your designs or your components or your design systems, whatever it is. Um, But today's episode has to do with icons. I I didn't realize that the icons themselves would not adhere, and I know I've struggled with this for a long time. But icons, um, if not done properly and consistently, will not adhere to variant changes. So no matter what you do, let's say you want to integrate icons into buttons, or you want to do, I don't know, put an icon into a list view, um, and then you go to change the variant of that list view or the of that button or whatever, and you want it to adhere to whatever the variant look and feel is, color change, whatnot, uh, the icon will not adhere to it if it's not done properly and consistently. So that's what I'd like to tackle today and kind of go over and show you guys. And hopefully that helps. I know it's a big help for me, although you will eventually see what I have to eventually do, which is a bit arduous and tedious. But in the end, I think, man, it's going to make my life so much easier because I won't ever have to worry about the fact that the icons will not adhere to the variant styling. So, anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. So here is the icons that I have in my design system right now. This is the material design icon library that I've brought in from material design. And now I have to go through and make sure that every single icon adheres to this very simple procedure, but if it's not done correctly, will cause a lot of problems down the road. So let's get into it, and I will show you what I've done. And this panel, this action panel here, I have already completed what I need to do, and I'll show you. And then it's a super simple thing. Just let's just get into it. So check it out. See how this icon is named icon over here in the labels panel? So if you look here, this is what I'm talking about. This is the icon that we're going over. And here's the actual container of it. And then inside of that, I have the vector file. Oftentimes, these vector files are created by layering in different elements. For instance, this guy was, I believe, 4 different elements before I merged them all into one. And that was this arrow going to the left on top here, this arrow going to the right down here at the bottom, and then the 3 as well as the D. They were all separate, but in Figma you can merge them into basically one contained asset. However, Figma still considers them to be individual assets, and this is where the disconnect is in Figma. Reading up on this issue, I've seen that a lot of people have been complaining about this for years, and unfortunately, Figma has not gone in, and this is not on their roadmap for fixing. So, whatever. It's just a little bit more work on our end, but it's easy. It's not hard to do. It's very simple, and it helps tremendously. So, what this is essentially you take that segment or that a bunch of those items that are in that contained asset, and you just hit On a Mac, it's Command E. I don't know. It might be a Control E on Windows. I'm not exactly sure. But essentially what it does is it merges it all into one layer. And oftentimes when you do that, it renames the layer to either be vector or whatever one of the file layer names is currently. But what I like to do is, since this is an icon, I make sure that the layer itself that I've just merged, the new layer that I've just merged, all those assets, is called the same exact thing on every icon that I create. So in this case, in this design system, I called it icon with a small I. So let me put something up here. Where are you? Where'd you go? There we go. That's awful. We're going to move that up. So I named the layer icon, and you can see it right there. So small I, C-O-N. Just every layer has that name. And so you can see that on all of these. They are all named icon. They are also referencing the same token, the same color token of my design system here, which is this white color. So everything has the same color, and everything is named the same in their layers. As far as what the actual asset is, not the actual component itself. What I have done in the actions panel here is I've gone through every single one of these. I've done exactly what I just showed you for every single icon in this list, and now I have to go through each one of these and do the same thing for every single icon you see. Again, it's monotonous, it's arduous, it's a lot of work, but the gain that you get from it, the advantage in the end, it's so worth it. So as you're building out your component libraries, you can do this when you're bringing in each asset, each icon or whatever, wherever you're importing them from, or whatever you're doing. Even if you're creating your own custom icons, those all can be done this exact same way, and if you adhere to it, it'll make your life so much easier in the end. So that's all. I'll take you through, and I'll do this one. We'll speed it up, and then in the end, you'll see that they all look exactly the same, but the infrastructure is completely different. So, for instance, let's say if I take this guy. Here's kind of what I'm talking about, where you have the asset itself, the actual vector file right here, has this path, this plus sign. Then you have this interior, which is actually subtracted from this outer structure. So all of this is needs to be merged. And again, what you can do is come up here and either go to Object and Flatten Selection, or you can hit on a Mac Command E, and it'll do the same thing without having to go into the menu system. So what that does for here, I'll show you here, and then I'll show you just doing the command, but it essentially is going to do the same thing. So as you can see, I hit that button, and now it's all in one layer, and it takes away any sub layers, and it merges it all into one. So, and I also want to make sure that it's adhering to this primary main, and it is. And the other issue that I'm having is this name is all kinds of wrong. So let's come in here, and I'm just going to name it icon. Simple And I also like to make sure that it's set to scale and scale, and that the offsets are all even. So, and sometimes the offsets are done on purpose to not be even. So I just want to make sure that everything is structured correctly, so that whenever I bring or utilize these icons in future build outs, that they will all stay consistent and be the same no matter where I'm using them. So anyways, stay tuned. I'm going to fast forward the rest, and we'll talk a little bit at the end, and we'll be done. So hopefully this helps, and let's get into this. Well, there you go. Yeah, you got a glimpse into my next hour or two. But basically, this is essentially the best way to set up your icons for any design system in order for the icons to become more versatile. So you can use them in any kind of variation or in any kind of component, and they will adhere and make sure to follow the styling. So hopefully this was helpful. I would really appreciate if you guys could like, subscribe, and comment. Make sure to tell me, is this something silly that I'm kind of beating a dead horse here, or is this things that you've already known about, or maybe you didn't know about any of this, and this helped you out? I would appreciate to know all of it, and I really sincerely hope this helped. So again, thank you for being here, and I'll see you on the next one.